Greetings, greetings, family. We are live. Welcome, welcome to the Sister Shani Show. As always, we have our internet challenges, and I can see that it's moving a bit slow, but we're going to work with it. I have my guests who are going to be joining me as well, and they're going to be coming forward very, very shortly. So let everyone know, family, that we are indeed live. Rising up, the entire family, rising you all up. Sister Shanice in the house, coming to you live and direct from Mama Africa. And I'm rising you all up because we are, as a people, are set upon by the powers that be, so that we can be, deflated. But when you come here, you come to a space where we are pumping you up, bringing you back, to your fullness. Because wow, we certainly have a great work to do as a people, family, and we need every single one of us to be in the movement. And I've got some wonderful guests that are waiting to come forward backstage, and they're coming from a part of the world which is on the Mama Africa land, and it's about, it's rich beyond measure. But as I say, Africa is not poor, unfortunately, just poorly managed. And we're going to be putting the word out there, because there has to come a day, family, from the works that we do that makes Africa the better place that she deserves to be. And for each and every one of you that are involved in the struggle, we rise you up. Thank you for joining me on the Sister Shanice Show. Thank you for spreading the word. This show is about liberating the mind, the body, and the soul of our people, and reorientating us, family, ideologically, philosophically, and to decolonize our mindset. It's really, really important that, we get in tune with our ancestors, we hear from them and what they have to say to lead us and to guide us spiritually. Someone calling me, can't take the call right now. And so, we have our challenges as a people. We really do have our challenges, but despite all of the challenges, we press on. We are a miracle. We are a miracle people. It's actually, a miracle that we are here at all, because when you consider what we have gone through as a people, when you consider the challenges that we have been experiencing, family, wow. So, welcoming you to the Sister Shanice Show. I'm just going to go into YouTube. Let me just check that we are actually coming through on YouTube. My system's a little slow, but it will catch up in a little while. My guests are backstage. Let me bring our guests forward as well. Family, we have a wonderful lineup for you today. And, I can't wait to get this show on the road, because we're going to be talking to some brothers from the DRC Congo. And it's a part of the world, family, where, I think we need to know more about what's going on. The history there is heart-wrenching. I know some of us probably, are already aware of the history, but we're probably going to be touching on some of that tonight. We've got our brother Capelle in the house. We've got our brother Asukulu in the house, and we've got our brother Alexis in the house. Let me go backstage now and bring our guests forward. So it's moving a little slow, but it's going to be happening very soon. Okay, so let's bring our brother Alexis in the house. Let's bring our brother Hulu in the house, and we've got our brother Capelle in the house as well. So just bringing them front of house. So let's see, as they join us and as they come through, let me just go back round and check on YouTube to see if we're coming through. Yes, I can see we are coming through on YouTube. A little slow my end, apologies for that. We're working with the technology. Brother Capelle, I can see has come through. Rise up, Brother Capelle. Welcome, welcome. How are you? We'll work with the delay.
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. And yourself?
I'm doing well as well, my brother. You know, some challenges, but we're going to push through. Let me just introduce you to our audience. Brother Capelle is a Congolese from the DRC, born social justice activist, and he had to flee his country due to security challenges that have forced millions of Congolese people out of their land of birth. His activism is informed by the living and working conditions of the Congolese masses. And I've just remembered I need to put on, my apologies, let us find, I've got to record this session. So let's just do that right now. Just letting everybody know that it is being recorded. And let me go back and okay, fantastic. Let me go back and introduce our brother Capelle. Capelle Mutachi is a Congolese born in the Congolese DRC, and he's born into the social justice activism movement. And he had to flee his country due to security challenges that have forced millions of Congolese people out of their land of birth. His activism is informed by, out of the way, that's sorry, something else just popped up in front of my screen. It's informed by the living and working conditions of the Congolese masses inside the country and those in the diaspora. He is the founding member of the Congolese Renaissance movement, a grassroots social movement established to mobilize, organize, conscientize, and unite all Congolese progressive forces to fight for fight against social injustices and to bring about the concrete political, socio-economic transformation that will benefit the majority of the poorest of the poor. He has served in different structures of community organizations, assisting them to develop and implement sustainable projects that improve the living conditions of the underprivileged. He's also active in a trade union environment, assisting shop stewards, worker leaders, and trade union officials to train and organize workers, maintain and improve their living and working conditions. We're absolutely honored to have you join us on the Sister Shani show today, our beloved Capelle. Let me allow you to greet the audience.
Okay, thank you very much once again for giving me and our most vibrant and revolutionary movement, Congolese Renaissance movement, another opportunity to participate in the discussions that we are going to unpack, the untold stories, the killings, the massacres, and the lootings of our resources by global imperialists, multinational corporations that continue to loot our resources. They continue to finance different rebels movement to ensure that the country is ungovernable, to ensure that people of DRC do not benefit from the resources of their own country. So that will be our topic of today. We'll do a short presentation and then we'll engage with the participants who are following us on Zoom and those who are following us on YouTube. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, beloved Capelle. And we've got our brother Alexis in the house, and our can I just check that Alexis, you can come on camera, or Asukulu, are you able to come on camera so we can see you and introduce you? We want to welcome you to the Sister Shani show. Okay, we've got brother Alexis let me introduce Brother Alexis. Welcome, welcome. So Brother Alexis is also a Congolese from the DRC, born and grew up fighting for social justice and peace. And my computer just spinning, my apologies. It will stop in a moment so that I move this up. Brother Alexis, I'm going to give you a full introduction in a moment, but let me greet you while my computer stops spinning. Welcome, welcome to the Sister Shani Show. How are you, Alexis?
Good evening, everybody. I am doing fine. Unfortunately, it's getting very cold where we are fine, and we thank you, everyone who's among us this evening.
Oh, we thank you so much for joining us this evening. A few audio challenges, but we hope that it will get better as the evening goes along. Let me finish introducing our brother Alexis, who is a Congolese born in the DRC, grew up fighting for social justice and peace. Due to social injustice and security concerns, he also had to flee his beloved country and find himself in the diaspora. We seem to have lost our other brother. Good, you're back. In the diaspora, the living conditions of the Congolese people motivated him to actively participate in the formation of the Congolese Renaissance movement so that he can help to organize, mobilize, and unite the Congolese masses to take their fate into their own hands. We welcome you, my brother. We celebrate you for your activism, and I think everyone's going to be finding out very soon why it's just so important, to have brothers like yourself fighting for the liberation of our people. So welcome. And we also have, let me just check, Brother Asukulu. Greetings, Brother Asukulu. Are you in the house? Brother Kapele, can you see Brother Asukulu?
Yes, he's in the house there. I think he's using Emmanuel. I think the name is Emmanuel Nova Y61. Okay. So he can mute himself. He can unmute.
Please unmute. Welcome, welcome, Asukulu.
Greetings, sister, and greetings to our viewers and the comrades who are with me this evening. Let me start to thank you again, Sister Tanisha, to give us this opportunity and to try and show the truth about what is going on in DRC, because the history is distorted. And this is a very good opportunity to show people what is going on and what is happening and what is behind anything that is happening there. I think today it will be a very good day and a great day to our viewers and to you, Sister Shanisa, to know the truth about the massacre and killings, raping, and that is slaughtering our people like animals every day. Today, people, they will know what is happening back there. I thank so much for this opportunity.
We thank you so much for joining us, and I'm sure we're all going to be at pains to hear what's going on and what's been happening in the Congo, but we need to know. So yeah, do please keep your camera on. To my guests, please do keep your camera on, and to those of you who are in the audience, we welcome you. Let me go over to the Zoom audience and welcome the Zoom audience. We've got Diana in the house. Welcome. We've got Bossman in the house. Brother Kimani's in the house. And Hundele is in the house. Yenge Lumbu Kiambote. My brother Niusi, good to have you in the house. He taught me that one. Jumbo, everybody. And welcome to each and every one of you. Brother Kwame Aboche is in the house as well. Welcome. Mudele, welcome. So let's go over to our beloved audience, and just thank you so much in advance for sharing the link to let everybody know that we are indeed live. Now, let me first of all just read a little bit of a background that I have been sent, which helps to set the context of the discussion that we're going to be having today. And I just want to thank everybody for their patience with the network challenges that we're having, but we're just going to work through it regardless. Okay, so let me just spotlight for everyone while I do the introduction for this discussion today. Thank you, Brother Capelle, for preparing for me what follows. So today we're going to be finding out what lies behind the killings, massacres, and looting of resources in the DRC Congo. And despite the natural resources that the Democratic Republic Congo actually has, it still remains one of the poorest in the world. Decades of brutal capitalism and systemic looting of its resources by global imperialists have plunged the country into abyss of abject poverty and backwardness. For over 3 decades, Congo remained within the orbit of imperialism, serving as a vast reservoir for exploitation of its natural resources by the multinational mining firms and international finance capital. The country is seen to be a bastion of Western intrigue and exploitation. After 62 years of nominal independence, the country is much more under the jackboot of imperialism than ever before. The principal struggle in the country is against the new and more insidious form of exploitation and oppression, neo-colonialism and imperialism. In trying to explain what lies behind the killings, massacres, looting, level of dehumanization and destruction of Congolese masses, it is impossible to ignore the variety of vast natural wealth the country has, which throws the country into an international battle over resources by global imperialist powers. This vast natural wealth has brought nothing but suffering and hardship to the Congolese masses. Not only have these resources not benefited the Congolese masses under capitalism and imperialism, it is the presence of these very resources which have turned the country into a battlefield. The wars are fueled by the global imperialist powers and express key aspects of their interests. They express the capitalist growing desperation for more cheap raw material supplies, which they need as one strategy to offset the tendency of the average rate of profit to decline. Despite how much our politicians twist their hands and shed crocodile tears over the millions of dead, wars like these are a manifestation of capitalism's nature and cannot be hidden. The hardship, pain, death, and suffering have brought the masses to the cutting edge of class analysis, social struggle, and a need for socio-economic liberation in Congo. Congolese masses have challenged the colonial regime, neo-colonial and imperialism formed from the time of Lumumba to Kabila, the father, Kabila, the son, and now Tshisekedi. Despite the spontaneous protest and heroic role of the masses, experience shows that without a vanguard movement of cadres to agitate, aggravate, mobilize, organize, educate, and lead, such struggle will not succeed. The struggle against neo-colonialism and imperialism in Congo is the work of both the vanguard movement and the masses. This means the movement must possess the capacity to mobilize, organize, develop, and lead the masses for this purpose. Thus, at the very least, it must have ideological, programmatic, strategic, and practical influence over the masses in their struggle against neo-colonialism and imperialism in the Congo. Well, that sets the tone for today's discussion, family. And I'm going to bring back our guest, because we need to, first of all, get a brief history of the Democratic Republic of Congo. So let me unspotlight myself so that I can bring back our beloved guest to the conversation that I would like us to have with you today. First of all, beloved Kapele, can you give our viewers a brief history of the Democratic Republic of the Congo?
Thank you very much for affording us an opportunity just to be on the platform. When it comes to the history of Democratic Republic of Congo, I'll try to be as brief as possible so that we can allow the viewers to participate, to engage in terms of asking questions, comments, and deliberation on the challenges that our people are facing in the country. The history of DRC, it is characterized by brutal capitalism and systematic looting of its resources by global imperialists, which have plunged the country into an abyss of abject poverty and backwardness. Our suffering starts as early as 1884, when the group of European countries they sat on a round table in Berlin, deciding on the future of this continent of ours. So this is where our problem started, when King Leopold II, took over the monopoly of the country. During his reign, he brutally massacred our people because of rubber and other minerals that were needed in the Western pneumatic industries. So that particular period came to pass because some activists, they were alarmed by the level of atrocity and brutality that the king committed towards the Congolese masses and the poor. And there was an international pressure that pushed King Leopold II to hand over his own private property called DRC today to the Belgium. So there was an exchange of ownership of our means of production from a king, to a small group of political leadership who were in charge of the political affairs of Belgium by then. So during that period, even though we are told, because we need to do much research to understand exactly what were the conditions of the people, even though some literatures are saying that there were a relative improvement, but the exploitation and oppression of our people continued at an alarming rate. So the Belgium, they monopolized, they controlled the means of production. Our people were excluded up until such time when the Lumumbas of this world and others, they started to challenge, the colonial rule of Belgium in DRC. So towards 1959, there were uprising here and there. After Lumumba, he came back from Accra, where he went to meet late Kwame Nkrumah, to engage on how, to liberate Congo from imperialism and colonial rule. So because of that, I think Belgium were overwhelmed, and in 1960, Congo, on the 30th of June, we were granted political freedom, political independence without economic independence. It was just to put down the flag of Belgium and to raise up the flag of DRC. But unfortunately, the ruling class in Belgium continue to interfere in our internal affairs. Up until such time, Lumumba realized that he did not only want to be in power, but he wanted also to be in the government. Rather, he wanted to take over the state power, use the state power, to transform the lives of our people. So unfortunately, those who owned the means of production then, they did not want Lumumba, to, control Congo the way he wanted, because the Congo is very strategic. It's got minerals that are key to Western industry, those who are in the military, manufacturing, technological industry, and so forth and so on. So Lumumba became a threat, and he was quickly assassinated. It's well documented by the Americans and the Belgium, the CIA. They were part of the operation to eliminate Lumumba. So after the departure of Lumumba, by that time the world was engaging in this bipolar world, the communist world and the capitalist world. So Mobutu was promoted because he was the darling of the Western country, CIA member, and they took over DRC. It was authoritarian rule. So Mobutu was used by the Western power, to challenge the communist ideas on the continent. So from after the departure of Lumumba up until 1996, this is where Lumumba, this is where Mobutu lost power to Kabila. I think the history is well known, because toward 1989, after the collapse of the communist bloc, Mobutu was no longer relevant to the interest of the Western countries, or they wanted the multi-party democracy in DRC, and the Mobutu was not willing by then. So he tried in 1992 to organize a conference that included the different political parties, civil society organization, to discuss about the future of DRC. Unfortunately, he succeeded just to maneuver and capture the conference. So the pressure from the West continued up until 1996. They were already tired of him. They wanted a new master who would be in charge of DRC. And this is where the 1996 war broke out. Kabila came in. Laurent Kabila took over. 2 years later, Kabila also, he realized that he was dealing with people who are not predictable. People are not going to assist him to achieve, the economic transformation that he wanted to see in the country. He was also assassinated, and in the process, another president, so-called Kabila, was imposed. From that time up until 2016, when he also wanted to become a dictator, and then he came under pressure from the Western countries. Therefore, we had an election in 2018, a highly contested and very controversial, which led to the ascendancy of the current president, Tshisekedi, becoming a president of the country. So when we look at our history, all these periods, our people have never benefited from the wealth of our country. Our wealth have been looted, have been exported to these big capitalist industries, to ensure that they continue to maximize profits, while our people are subjected to harsh socioeconomic conditions of poverty, unemployment, and inequality, ongoing conflicts, and massacres, the rapes, and so forth, and so on. So when you look from 1884 up until today, it's closer to 137 years. Our people, they have never enjoyed the benefits of the resources that we are having. So when you look at the leadership that came after Patrice Lumumba, so all the political leadership that is there, it has failed times without numbers. to organize the society, to mobilize the society so that we can have that united front that will challenge the status quo of these global imperialists who have been plundering, the resources of our country, with impunity, killing people and so forth and so on. So we have a problem of leadership, and that is the point that when you look at our programs, the Congolese Renaissance movement, we went through our historical materialism. We have realized that without a vanguard movement, a movement of cadres who are political and ideological prepared, to organize the masses, even though we have a spontaneous, struggles here and there, but it is practically impossible for our people because a revolution that is not led is a chaos. So there is a poor leadership, and the current leadership that we have, it does not have a national interest at heart. They are there working together with the international capital, to accumulate more, while our people continue to suffer the consequences of the wars, the consequences of poverty, unemployment, malnutrition, and so forth and so on. So the way out of this, as a CRM, we always argue that there is a need for us to build a new political class, a political class that is conscious, the political class of young people who are capable now to challenge, the dominant discourse, those who've been owning the resources of our country since 1884 up until today. So that is the way to go. We are building that leadership. We are working to ensure that we have capable people that will be able to conscientize our people, because with the information that our people have been given, you look at the way churches, the missionaries, how they designed, the messages that our people are receiving every Sunday when they go church. If we look at it, for us, we just use one word. It's a part of the opium of the society. So it's all these churches, sometimes they become the tool of colonial power to continue, not allowing our people to think outside the box, in the sense that we say that, no, we have a life to live, though we are talking about the eternal life, but we also have a land that was given to us, and this land is not correct. This land has got a lot of problems. It's up to us to unite, to come together, and try to come up with, concise programs of action, that will speak to the needs of the masses on the ground, and work on those programs to mobilize and agitate the current status quo, so that we can bring a change that we want to see in our country. So we stand for that, a direction whereby, we are appealing to our young people all over the world, those who are DRC in diaspora. So this is a time. There is no time to pray now, because people have been praying for so very long time. So, and if we don't do anything, we'll continue to live under the same, conditions up until such time, if Jesus will come back, we'll be still facing the same problem. So on that note, let me stop there. I know my other comrades, they can add, because the history of Congo is very vast, but by all means to ensure that I summarize it, so that the viewers, they can get the sense of the context of the things that we want to debate here. So thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much, my beloved, for that background. Congo is a country that I'm reading here is the 11th largest country in the world, the second largest country in Africa. Vast, vast amounts of land and vast, vast amounts of wealth. But as you said there, the people, haven't been able to enjoy the wealth, but has just suffered, atrocity after atrocity, destabilized government after destabilization, and there's also been a hidden genocide, you know, that's taken place on that region of the land of Mama Africa as well. We, you know, you mentioned Leopold there, who I will add, within 23 years, it said massacre. It's estimated between 10 to 15 million Africans by cutting off their hands and genitals, flooding them, flogging them to death, and starving many, and many others dying from forced labor. That included children as well. They were burning villages. It, you know, the extent of the suffering of our people in that region is unimaginable. And to think that it still continues today, you know, I salute my brothers for the works that they're doing to conscientize and to raise awareness about what is going on in that region, because we all need to know what's happening and we all need to be talking about it. Here we have, you know, now African governments entertaining Russia, which I don't have a problem with them doing, you know, to try and bring about peace in between Russia and Ukraine. But we have wars in Africa that need to be sorted out. We need peacemakers from across the continent to be going into the Congo and to be resolving the challenges of wars on its borders there, as well as to resolve the problems of looting that we're hearing about that still continues in that region. Let's bring in our brother Alexis and ask you, my brother, to kindly add to the history that we have just been given by our brother Pepele.
Thank you once again. I think I don't have enough to add, as just comrade spoke, but what I can say that I can only confirm that we need a change in Congo, and then the change must start now, because our people have been suffering for long. You heard just now that it's more than 130 years of suffering, and we have no hope because the situation is getting from bad to worse. And our people are too scared to act because of the religion, because of the education people are receiving in the family. And that has created a situation which is putting people under unnecessary pressure. But you found out that most of Congolese people decide to run away from the country, go to look for life away of the country, while we have what we need. Everything is in Congo, but because of the situation, because of the high level of impunity in the country caused by capitalism and imperialism, people decide to keep quiet and they run away, to go away from the country. And you will find that most of youth, instead of fighting for their right, they end up going in the churches, knowing that they will have solution, because Congolese people believe that God will solve our problems. While God created us, he gave us the country, he gave us the riches, and he gave us the brain to use the land. But we can't use the land, we can't defend ourselves. We depend on people who have no idea, because our leaders, their policies, and I can say their policies is that of doing nothing. They don't do anything for the people. Each one is there for looting, and the looting must not continue, because otherwise our people, our kids, our kids will suffer in the future. Understand? In Congo, the topics everyone is talking about, the occupation. We're feeling that the country is occupied by the neo-colonial forces, which is using other countries, our neighbors, to loot our resources, to kill our people, to create a fear in our people so that they cannot defend their right. While the constitution, the so-called constitution in the country, allows people to defend their right. But because of fear created among our people are deciding to sit in the churches. And those who have power, those who cannot stay in the churches, decide to run away and stay away from the country so that they can survive. Because inside the country, there's a killings, there's a looting. You can sleep today, you are not sure if you will wake up tomorrow. That's what I can add on just what the comrades say now. Thank you.
Thank you so much, beloved Alexis, for sharing that additional perspective. Absolutely agree with you. We need change now. It's, our people have been suffering there for far too long. We need to put the spotlight on DRC Congo and what's happening in that region. Let's bring in our brother Asu Kulu. Kulu, are you still there? I want to hone in on what's going on behind the scenes. We're hearing that there are behind the scenes, there's killings, there's massacres and lootings. What's going on there? My beloved brother, welcome.
Thank you again. Thank you for the opportunity. I can just start saying that our history is built on the stage of the imperialist and the capitalist needs. Whenever any need arise, and that need goes directly on the resources of DRC. If we start from the time of, we heard all about the history, King Leopold II, who has given the DRC as its own private property, even its own people. So at that time it was the rubber, and he used the rubber to do what was needed in the time, in that his own time. And if we go also, you will see the Belgium when they take the country, there was a need. Up until today, we also have a need of building sophistics, laptops, phones, and weapons, and all of those resources are coming from a DRC. So however that can be created to masquerade the people and told them this is the truth. Let me mention about the accusation, the indirect accusation of Rwanda, because the Rwandan is using. The Rwandan accepted to be used with the Western imperialists to attack Congo to the benefit of the France, England, and the UK, and the United States of America. But they are not the really cause of our problem. The problem are those who are using them to massacre our people in order for them to get the cobalt. Now we also have a problem that the future generation, if we did not act as a comrade Alex mentioned, that there must be a change, and the change must be now. If we did not act right now, we will go to suffer. From 2030, there is a need of electrical cars, and those cars, they will be built with the cobalt that will come in DRC. The 70% of cobalt is in DRC around the world. So the multinational, they will need that cobalt, and they are not going through a right way. They use our own people, they use our own neighbors, they use African people to attack or create the different rebels groups so that they can get freely those minerals. So the problem of ours now, what we have to understand is the need that arise in the system itself, in the capitalist and imperialist system. Whenever there is a rise of a need, and the DRC is going to suffer. They manage, one thing that they manage to control Congolese people, I think comrades, they try to put it well, but also we should say that they manage to create a weak leadership. They manage to create a good stooges. Those they may use to to put our people in fear so that they may not even act. In DRC, yes, the so-called constitution has given our people the right to march. But whenever our people go to the road to march, they can kill them. And no one can come out and spoke out about what is happening. In DRC, a few hours of a march can kill 20, 50, 100 people. And you will not hear in the word or all those imperialist media to talk about it. Each and every day in the eastern part of the DRC, people are dying. More than 100 people may die a day. We are now counting almost, if we look on the mapping reports, they are saying more than 12 million of Congolese has died. That is a Holocaust. Look at how the imperialists are talking about the 800,000 in Rwanda, and they put it to be a big issue. That is because the Rwanda now is a good stooge they are using to stall and loot the mineral in DRC. But the 12 million of DRC is nothing. Listen to what is happening in Ukraine. They are not even reaching 5,000 people dying in Ukraine. And you can see these stooges leaders in Africa. They are going there as a commission to bring peace in Ukraine. When they leave the DRC, Sudan, Somalia, in Nigeria, all around the continent, we still have many problems here. But our stooges leaders, those who are well created with the imperialists, they are going to build peace in Ukraine. What about Africa? What about DRC itself? So the main issue we have is the rise of the needs of the imperialists and the system that they created to build up the weak leadership in DRC is more than the imagination of our people to say one day we can come out of this crisis. But the one thing that we also build in us and be sure is to build this capacity. What we said, we have to build a capacity, build a movement that can have a cadres who will challenge the status quo of the situation that is going on in DRC and bring back a new system that our people, they have to enjoy that mineral that God has given them. But if not, we will still suffer and suffer and suffer again, more than how we are suffering now. But we hope our people will head and knowing that any need that will arise, we will all know that there will also be a hand of imperialists in that need to massacre our people, to loot our resources. But we can create also a system that can help us if we really realize we can do it without fear, without waiting the Western people to come and do it for us. Because African or Congolese people, we believe anything that happened, we have to say the European said this, the American says this. But we believe in development. No one will come and help us. No one will come to die in order to bring peace in DRC. No one will come to fight so that we can have the peace we needed. So we will do that ourselves. And the Congolese people, they should all come together and do what we need to do so that when our children rise, they should also not suffer as we are suffering outside our own country. We have more than what people they need in DRC, but a million of Congolese are out of Congo because of this the situation that has been created outside of the DRC, and our so-called misleaders accepted that. They also call themselves that they are leaders. But if we look into themselves, there is no leadership in DRC. There is nothing. There is nothing. People, they only know to get what they want, even if the budget they are mentioning, there is no accountability of the budget. The president cannot go to the parliament and say what they did. So we need a new leadership that can bring a new system in order the Congolese people to enjoy their own resources. I thank you.
We thank you so much, my brother, for illuminating the situation for us in the Congo right now. You mentioned the role of Rwanda. I wonder if that could be elaborated on a bit more. You said Rwanda is actually being used to massacre the people in the DRC. Did I hear correctly? I wonder if you could elaborate on that a bit more and bring more insight into the role of Rwanda in the massacres and genocides that's happening in DRC, please. Would you like to answer that, my brother Alexis? We seem to have lost Pele. Hopefully we'll be coming back. Brother Alexis, let's go to you. You're not on mute, but I'm not hearing you, my brother. Let's hope that his audio catches up very quickly. Seems to have some audio challenges there. Let's come back to you then, Brother Alexis. Are you hearing me, my brother Sukulu?
Thanks so much, Sister Shanice.
Sukulu? Yeah, we're not hearing Alexis right now. Can I ask you to, Brother Kapele is just trying to reconnect. I wonder if you can elaborate a bit more on the role of Rwanda, because this is a time when we are calling on all African governments to unite and come together and stand together as one continent. We need all the African leaders supporting all of Africa. And as we said earlier, here we have a number of African leaders trying to bring peace between Ukraine and Russia, and we have so many wars, active wars that are happening on the continent of Africa. It's like your own house is burning down, and you leave your own house to try and put the fire out of somebody else's house. This was an analogy that we had on my show on Saturday to do something similar. Which seems to be the attitude of too many of our African leaders. Let's hone in on the role of what the intervention has been, good, bad, and indifferent, of other African leaders. Who would like to speak to that?
Yeah, thank you, Sister Shanice.
Welcome back, Brother Kapele. Yes. Go ahead, Brother Sukulu.
I was saying I really was not getting you well. But if I heard you on what you was asking, that there is a need of bringing peace around the continent, but the accusation of Rwanda in DRC, those are what I heard you were saying. I can answer in this way here to say that Rwanda is not a really problem of Congo, but is among those problems. Because when a Rwanda government accepted the offer has been given to the Western imperialists to attack the DRC, and those Western companies, they can go through the Rwandan army and they take our resources. Then we have to accuse Rwanda in that way. But behind Rwanda, there is someone who pushed them. And that who pushed Rwanda is the most important person that we have to accuse more. Because the Rwanda army go in DRC through two allegations. One, it was that the 1994 a massacre in Rwanda, genocide in Rwanda. Those who organized the massacre was run into the DRC, and they are living into the parks in DRC too. They were going there to look after those people. That was a rumors that it was a wrong and a fakey a reason to go into DRC. Because those people, they go into DRC in 1994, yes, and they went back to Rwanda and everywhere in the world. But they are no more that much as they can say in Congo, the Rwandan government, as they are mentioning. The second accusation or reason for them to go in DRC is to support the so-called Banyamulenge, an ethnic group that has been created alongside, but we all know those people are Rwandan people. They came into Congo as refugees. And if they are staying there so long, like 50 or 30 years, they may become also Congolese, but they don't have to change their own identity, their own original identity. They may remain Congolese, but from Rwanda, as in South Africa where we are living. We have Indian in South Africa who came from India to South Africa. But because they stay so long in South Africa, they are Indian in South Africa. We can also have Rwandan in DRC, but not changing the identity. And when they change the identity, they also give a chance to any Rwandan who can come into Congo and claim also is a Nyamulenge. That also is a wrong a reason for them to attack the DRC. The real reason to see Rwanda in DRC is that Rwanda is working on the profit of the imperialists and the capitalists so that they can get the mineral of DRC for free. There is no reason that a Rwandan army can go and massacre people in DRC each and every day just because of supporting Banyamulenge. That is not a reason. They may not go in DRC just to go and look at the FDLR. That is not a reason. But the people who are massacred, if you look into and try to do the good research, you may see those people are living in the area where is the mineral that is needed, especially the cobalt now. When you go through and look, people who are dying in northern Goma and southern Kivu, you will see people who are those areas where is the mineral they so needed are people who are much affected than any people. So they will go there just to push the agenda and give the wrong reason. But the truth is that they are working on behalf of their masters. And African leaders, they are not clever or understand the history. Whenever that needs will end, and that the importance of Kagame will also end, because they will not use him for anything. As Brother Capella, Comrade Capella just mentioned it, how they use Mobutu to neutralize the rising of communism in Africa. In 1988, when that needs finished, the capitalists win the war in the Cold War. The need of Mobutu was over, and they started creating reason to remove him. When the need of getting what they need in DRC finished, they will also rise and call Kagame a dictator. You will never hear any Western media to call Kagame is a dictator. It's okay, it's good, he's a good leader, he's doing well. But when the need is finished, they will call him that name. So this was a time to tell them the truth. Stop what you're doing. We are neighbors. We can live in peace. We can enjoy what we have. The mineral in DRC can also benefit people in Rwanda, can also benefit people in South Africa, can benefit all of us. But if we are in war, accepting foreigners, creating walls in order to kill each other, look at the people who are doing it, Congolese people. Those soldiers who are going to DRC, they are youth from Rwanda who are going to die there. They are also thousands of soldiers of Rwanda who are dying there. Young people, they just took them and go there to die for nothing. So if our leaders understood, they are stooges and stop what they are doing, stand as a people and they say no. The North Korea stand, China stand, Russia stand, Cuban also they stand. Why not us? So this is the time to tell them, stop accepting what these people are telling us, and they stand on our own and do what is the best of us. If Rwanda there is a need of this and DRC we have this, let us share. Let all of us benefit because we are African. There's no need to bring someone else to tell us what to do. That's why they give us a political independence. When they maintain the economic independence, and what is so important, the economy control the politics. The economy determine which system of politics that you will have. So when they still have our economy in their hands, they also have the power to tell us what to do, because they have the money that we need to make our institution work. If we doesn't have that money, we will go to them to ask them man. The same man that they stole from us is the same man they give us. So our leader, they should understand this, and they stand up and say, no, enough is enough. We will just remain as we are, and we will do better than whatsoever they bring to us. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, my brother. Wow, it's just so painful to hear there the role of neighboring governments, the role of Kagame there as well from Rwanda. We know that the Tony Blair Institute is very active in Rwanda, and that he jumps to the tune of Tony Blair. Tony Blair is a former UK Prime Minister, as most of us know, and ought to be facing trial for war charges, for criminal war crimes, but he isn't. And, from what I'm hearing and from what I've heard before from the works of our beloved leader Bandapa, we have to dig out his videos. He's done some amazing presentations here on the Sister Shanice Show platform on politics and politricks. And there is a segment in one of his presentations when he hones in on Kagame and his very questionable and concerning role in the nefarious activities that are happening on the border of the Congo, and how, vehicles with minerals are leaving the Congo and going through Rwanda on a daily basis. This is, absolute criminal activities. And it's got to be exposed, because unless people know what's going on, we're not going to be in a position to condemn what's going on. So we have to speak out about what's happening and to condemn it and to, cry out about it, because, when there is an outcry about what's going on, when our people get to know and start to intercede in the spirit realm and call on the powers of our ancestors to intercede, and when there's a wave of an outcry across the continent and across the diaspora for the people in the Congo, only then will we begin to see the changes that we want. And that's what's got to happen. And so we rise you up, our beloved brother there, for explaining what's going on. Let's try now our brother Alexis and see if we can hear from him. Had a slight problem with your audio a little while ago, Alexis, but hopefully it's working now. Brother Alexis, are you there? Well, I can see you there, but can you hear? Are you able to interact with us? Over to you. Okay, our brother, you seem to be muted. We're not hearing you. Wow. My brother, are you there? Try again. Okay, we're definitely having some audio challenges hearing from our brother Alexis there. And, you know, I'm sure he's got so much to add to the conversation that we're having here. We've gone through a bit of the background of the DRC Congo in terms of the role of that wicked, evil Leopold II of Belgium, and, you know, all of his criminal activities and the massacres and the genocide that have been committed then, you know, right up until today. We're hearing that there are still massacres. There's still genocide happening. People are being wiped out because they're living in regions, you know, that is just rich with minerals that the Western world wants for electric cars. You know, roll on cars that can run off water, roll on cars that can, you know, run off of solar. You know, we need clean energy. We have to move away, you know, from the use of cobalt. There's too much blood that's being shed. Let's try Brother Alexis again and see if we can hear from our brother. Brother Alexis, are you there? Can you speak to us? Let's see if we can hear you. Okay, my brother, you might need to go out and come back in again. And hopefully when you come back in, your audio will be okay. So in the meantime, let's go back to our brother Capelle, who we lost for a little while, but we're glad to have you back, brother Capelle. Welcome back. You know, we've just been hearing of the atrocities that's happening in the northern region of the Congo, the wealth that exists in that area, the role of Rwanda, and the leader of Rwanda, and also I'm sure the Tony Blair Institute as well, you know, that's causing the massacres that's going on in the region. I mean, this is all, you know, heartbreaking information that we're hearing. I mean, what further challenges could there be? There, you know, there's the war that's going on. What is the humanitarian situation?
Thank you very much. I don't know whether I'm audible enough. Can you hear me that side?
Yes, hearing you loud and clear.
Okay, no, thank you very much. I think I've lost the connectivity, but let me build on what other comrades have been alluding on. I think one thing that I want to put on the table here to our viewers, Congo is a very strategic country, strategically in terms of mineral, and strategically in terms of its position, you know, on the continent itself, because it's the heart of Africa. And then looking at the resources that we have, according to the sources that I've consulted, you can combine the GDP of United States of America and the UK combined together. I think they are not even closer to the wealth that we have. So based on that, DRC, the global capitalists vowed never to allow the country to be stable because they want it to be a jackpot or a reservoir where there will be, you know, taking raw materials, ensuring that the country, you know, exports raw materials, you know, to their industries that are based in the western parts of the world. So they use rather different ways on how to destabilize the country. I think one way or the other, I think my comrade Asokolo has alluded on that, where neighboring countries are used as an agent, you know, to destabilize the country so that, you know, they are able to get these minerals through these various rebels movement that are created, as well as through the weak government that they have, you know, undermined the leadership itself. They have ensured that the people, they don't elect leaders who are capable, leaders who can rise up to occasion and challenge the status quo, organize the society. So that's a problem. So all in in what we are facing, if we summarize it together, we are facing internal problems and internal factors as well as external factors. So these external factors are pushed by these global capitalists through their stooges in the region. And then internally now, because the leadership that is there, it has been poorly prepared. It's a leadership that is there, to advance the agenda of the same forces that are destroying our country. And they have ensured that they create what we call a superficial division among the people, those who are in the East. These ones speak Swahili, the other one in the West, they speak Lingala. So they create this superficial thing so that the masses are divided. And when the masses are divided, there is no way out for them to come out of the crisis that we are facing. So I will repeat again, this is the reason why we have established this movement. We say that no, each generation has got its own mission. It's either we fulfill it or we betray it. We have realized that it doesn't matter how far we run away from DRC. We can go over the sea, we can go under the sea, we can go above the sea or below the sea, whichever way one can put it. But still, we continue to be victims, and the same victims, they are carrying the solution of the problems that we are facing. And this is the reason why we say that no, we have to stop this, because the weak point why these external forces, they are devouring our country, they are devouring our people, is simply because we do not have a dynamic, capable, visionary leadership that can organize the society, because the solution is in the hands of the people. But the people can rise to occasion if they are credible leaders who are ready to lead the anger of the people. So out of all the struggles, the invasion, the occupation from our neighboring countries, you can see our people, the young people, they are ready to rise up to the occasion, but they are leaderless. So they believe to the same stooges who are sitting there, believing that they are going to lead them to a struggle that will bring about political, economic, and social transformation in the country. That is not true. And then also the other thing I want to remind our viewers, for those who are book lovers, there is this book that in our movement, we normally read it. It's like a Bible. It was written by one of our own in 1976. And this brother, when you read this document and then you contextualize to what is happening, one can conclude and say that this brother was a prophet. So he explained this book explains exactly the conditions that we are living now, how the political class in DRC is divided. What we see in DRC, it is not new, because since the departure of Patrice Lumumba, the same imperialist forces, they stayed together because it was a battle between the Belgium and the Americans to control the heart of Congo, to control the resources of Congo. So you go back to history, after Lumumba, there was a secession, Katanga secession, that was sponsored by the Belgium to maintain their status quo. And then years later, there was also Kasai secession. So all these secessions were sponsored by the Western, the Belgians, to ensure that they maintain their status quo. But these two forces, they decided to come together and say that, how can we better exploit and oppress the Congolese people? They put forward, in DRC, there are 4 different political groupings. There is a first grouping that advances the interest of imperialists from America. There is another group that is there pushing the interests of the imperialists from Belgium. And these people, they skillfully develop another third group. And this third group, they normally call it the group of traitors. So what I'm saying is what this brother of our own is giving us a thorough analysis of the conditions that we are living today. So the third group of politicians in that country are traitors, are in between. So when these two forces, when the Belgium and Americans are fighting over to take over the control of the minerals of Congo, like what we have seen in 2016 when they were pushing Kabila out. So they were used internally, but the big battles was taking place outside of the country. So in that particular struggle, we saw in 2019 this new current president was brought in. It belongs to the third group. So that group is there. They develop people who have got a message of nationalist leaders. They are pseudo radical people, pseudo, type of Marxists to say that we are the messiahs, we are coming to address your problem, but that is not true. So there is another group, and this group is a group that is very dangerous, and then the capitalists are afraid of that group, is the group of popular uprising. So this group, it was established by people like Patrice Lumumba, people like Pierre Mulele. So but what the capitalists have done now, they have infiltrated this group by multiplying different rebels groups so that they can confuse, so that people they won't be able to know which one is the real liberator here. So this is the situation that we are facing. They have vowed to allow one party or a dominant party to take over the state power to transform the lives of the people. So the politics that we are in now is a politic of coalition. And these coalitions, they are not there to develop the country or to transform the lives of the people. These coalitions of party is the group of the local bourgeoisie. The compradors are coming together so that they can work for their masters, and whatever left over, they can put in their pocket while people are hungry, people they don't have education, people they don't have hospitals, people don't have infrastructure. There is no water and sanitation. There's no electricity whatsoever. So this is the problem that we are facing. So that is why when people they're asking us our point of view when it comes to the leadership that we have, we see them as people who are in the same WhatsApp group. So that is why CRM, we say that no, this is the time, this generation, we need to end this. If we don't end this exploitation of high level, there's no one else who will come and help us. So we need to start, because a journey of 100 kilometers, it starts with one step. Let us take a step. Let us organize a new political class, young people, vibrant, so that we can start organizing our people, because we believe change or revolution is the festival of the masses. So that is why when you establish a very strong organization, you need to have a clear program that will speak to the needs of the people, so that based on their needs, you can organize them and say that this is a time to chase the people whom they pretend to be our leaders while they are there to work for a particular grouping of people, while millions of people are dying every day without medication, people are dying without food, people are dying because of conflict and so forth and so on. So as my brother and my leader was saying about African countries, so we must stop to be used, because we are all one. Because with the resources that we have in DRC, we can also assist our neighbors, because there is no permanent problem. I know our problem is not permanent. They wanted to make it permanent when we were still sleeping. But now, this new generation now has understood the struggle, and then we are in that process. We are not saying that it's going to be a easy walk in the park, but we strongly believe that, we are going to pave a way that the next generation that will come will say that, there were people who traveled this journey before us, and they have left something for us. So let us pick the spear and continue the struggle. But we believe that Congo one day, it will be liberated. One day, the Congolese people will be able to enjoy, the wealth that the country has. So, but what we need to do is to soldier on, is to continue engaging with other, working class, poor people, vulnerable groupings all over the world, to make sure that we make our struggle to be international. And the why is because the history has taught us when the colonial rule under King Leopold II became more brutal. It was a British journalist who, decided to start writing, publishing, to ensure that he raised the level of awareness. And by then, the whole world realized that no, there are people in DRC that are killed day by day by the king. And there was an international outcry, an international campaign that pushed King Leopold II to hand over Congo to the Belgium. And we strongly believe what we are doing, we need to tell people the untold story, because the whole world, they know that there is war in DRC, but I don't know exactly what is happening. The level of dehumanization, the destruction of human life, people are massacred, the women are mutilated, raped and so forth. So when you see this thing, if you are a rational person, you will say that no, it is a time to stand with the people of DRC. It's a time to amplify this campaign, to ensure that the whole world, is aware of what is happening, because people in the Western country, they are sitting in the comfort of their homes with these sophisticated devices, telephone and what, but they don't know exactly where the raw materials that's used to make those phones are coming from. They are carrying the blood of the Congolese people. So this is the reason why we say that we need to stop this, because now we are moving toward electrical cars, as Comrade Asokolo has alluded. Plus minus 70% of cobalt deposit is in DRC. And then we strongly believe, because of the poor leadership that we have, there is another war that is looming. The capitalists are going to sponsor different rebels movement to destabilize the country so that they can get these resources. We have learned that in 2030, there will be water crisis in the world, and DRC will be the only country that will be having a lot of water because it has got more rivers. So we're expecting another war to come, but we have to end that. And this war will come if we do not have a capable leadership that will be able to organize the society, because power belongs to the people. And once those people are organized through a particular movement that has got capable leaders, I strongly believe that we can end this exploitation that is happening in DRC. And when you look at the current international political development, this is the time now for DRC to position itself, because the unipolar world now is collapsing before our own eyes. So we are not saying that in this multipolarity world where we have the Chinese and the Russians, the Indians and others, they're all the capitalists, but looking at how these new centers of power emerging, I think it's a time for us Congolese now to come out and position ourselves and to use these different centers of power to make sure that we bring peace, stability, and economic transformation in our country. But it will only take a visionary, capable, and prepared leadership that has a national strategic interest at heart. So let me end there for now. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brother Kapele. You've made the calls for capable leaders and for the right leadership to come. I think you need to look in the mirror, and the leader will be looking right back at you, Brother Kapele, and your brothers alongside you. We need to stop looking outside of ourselves and see the leadership that is within you. You have all that it takes, And my beloved brother, we are agreeing with you that change has to come and change will come. Sister Afujamo in the chat says Congo will be liberated. It absolutely will be and absolutely must be liberated. Agree with you on that, Sister Afujamo, and welcome. Good to have you in the house. She said she was late because she went to a meeting in Accra where Julius Garvey was being entertained. But she said, yes, we just met the son of Marcus Garvey in Accra this evening, Julius. he was expelled from the organization because he married a subhuman biological mistake. This is the reason, she says, why she is late. Yeah, so, you know, those who we should be looking to as leaders, you know, the enemy has sent, you know, sends their women along to, you know, to capture the spirit of our, you know, potential leaders, because, you know, he's the son of the late great Marcus Messiah Garvey himself, and surely, you know, some of that power that Marcus Messiah Garvey had, you know, was in his son. But this is what they do, you know. It's as if they're on the chessboard, and they're putting all their pieces in strategic positions, you know. But we can't look outside of ourselves for the leaders. We've got to work with what we've got. And yes, you know, we need all of our African journalists to be writing about what's going on in the Congo until, yeah, some of the Western mainstream media pick up on it. We need an international outcry. Absolutely agree with you on that. The world most definitely needs to know what's going on in the Congo. Let's go over to our brother Alexis, and let's hope that his line is working now and we can hear from our brother Alexis. I know a lot has been said, and I'm sure you have a lot to contribute. Brother Alexis, can you hear us?
Of course, yes, I can hear you.
Are you hearing us, my beloved?
Yes.
Yeah, we're hearing you now as well, which is good. Go ahead, my brother.
Yeah, thank you once again. You know, I believe in one thing about the cosmic law, the law of courage. You know, these people have discouraged our people. And the courage said that if you fail to confront the problem, you are a victim of the same problem. That's what we have come in Congo. Our leaders have created problems themselves which they cannot solve. But now our citizens, we Congolese people, become a victim. And I believe that a victim will never be a victor. A victim will never be a victor. Then it comes a question of what must be done, which Lenin asked these people. What should we do to save the country? Should we sit and complain? Because we know that our leaders are only talkers. They only talk good French, but they have no action at all to save our people. They can talk nice, but they have no plan. They have no policy to save the country. And our people have been weakened so that they can't complain, they can't talk, they can't take their own right into their own hands. That's why that's one of the reasons why we initiated to start this movement, so that we can also contribute something to the progress, to the development of our people. Because the material, maybe you never heard about it before, but we can tell you that it's getting from bad to worse. And our citizens require that something must be done. But who are those people who will start something? But we decide that we should start something. As a comrade said, that every generation has its mission. Our generation will decide that we must create this Congolese Renaissance movement, so that we can do something for our people. Because there is no reason to abandon this war. This war must carry on. Even our kids must take it on after us, because we believe that is a big, big work in front of us. But with the support of our people, the help from our friends, will do something. But the movement is there, and we are doing what we can do so that something can change in our country. And we believe that with the support behind back home, something will be done. I thank you. I can't hear you.
It won't come off mute. Carry on, carry on, carry on, carry on. Let me see. It won't unmute. So sorry, you are using the first shift, command, shift, shift. Unmute, please.
Can you hear me? You are muted, Sister Shanice. You are muted.
Yeah, it wouldn't come off mute. I was clicking it and I was pressing it and it wouldn't come off mute. So if I have this problem, just carry on. You know, if I even drop out, just carry on, my brothers, because our audience is there and they want to hear from you, not necessarily me. Okay, my brothers? My sincere apologies. It just wouldn't come off mute. I was trying to say, carry on, you know, roll on, but it didn't work. My sign language wasn't very good. Thank you, Brother Alexis. Good to hear from you and your contribution on that. Obviously, you know, we need to do what we can so that we can encourage our people in the Congo. And I think, you know, when they begin to hear and feel the spirit of their people from the diaspora and across Africa, they will feel encouraged. We hear what you're saying about, you know, the risk to their own life if they go out and protest. So, you know, people around the world are going to have to come out and protest on their behalf. And I hear what you say about them having that victim mentality and how a victim can't be a victor. But, you know, as one of our artists says, Bob Marley, you know, sometimes our people only know themselves when their back are up against the wall. And it sounds like our people's back is right up against the wall in the Congo. So, you know, we can't predict what's going to happen. Some people are going to decide that we're going to have to be the change that needs to happen. It's unacceptable that a country with so much riches and so much resources, you know, should be, you know, the beating stick of the Western world, who, because of their own greed, don't want to pay for or share in the benefits of those resources. And as a result, our people are suffering. Our people have suffered too long. Let's go over to the audience, shall we, and find out if there are any questions that any of our audience members may have. And to those who are in Zoom, if any of you would like to make a contribution, now is the time to signal. You can raise your hands. There is a reaction button that you can use to raise your hand if you'd like to jump on to the platform and make a contribution to the discussion today. So again, apologies for when my phone was on mute there. So yeah, if you've got any questions, please do put your questions in the chat. Liza Papacheesy from Bermuda, please do share this information in Bermuda about what's going on in the Congo. We've got family here from the UK. Please do share across the UK as well. You know, I know there's challenges with my my system, so I don't want to take up, you know, too much time here. Let's go back over. We've lost our brother Asukulu, so let's go over to Brother Capelle. Brother Capelle.
No, thank you very much, Sister Shanice, for a very informative and a very productive, you know, debate. I think one thing that we normally do when we are given an opportunity to talk about the Great Congo, we don't only talk about problems because these problems now are known by many of our people. Uh, uh, when we are talking about these problems, it's just to raise the level of awareness among our people to understand the challenges that we are facing and what is to be done to come out of these problems. And this is where Comrade Alexis was talking about what Lenin was confronted before the Russian Revolution, when the Russian people, they were going through the similar problems that we are facing, but maybe in a very different context. Lenin asked this question, what is to be done, so that we can address this particular problem. And also, we normally also ask this question to ourselves. After having said, after having, engaged on all these problems, internals and external problems, what is that can we do as a movement? So the solution that we propose is a proposed solution that we normally present to our people to allow engagement so that they can also input, because we are not the prophets. We base our solution on what, we learned from the history where we are coming from. So when you look from the time of Patrice Lumumba, except during the regime of Mobutu, Congo, to come out of this crisis, from the point of view of CRM, we need two things first before other things can follow. Number one, we need to have strong movements, or you can call it a party, that has got capable leaders or cadres who were prepared politically, ideologically, and otherwise. And then once this group, small or bigger group of leaders have been fully prepared, ready to sacrifice not only their time, not only their resources, but also their lives, and then the second step now, it will be to use the information that we have, to conscientize our people, because the problem that we are having, you cannot lead any revolution with ignorant masses, because otherwise, you will be powerless, because our power is derived from the conscientized people. So that is the task that we put on the table. We have programs that speaks to the needs of our people. When we look at how the social stratification in DRC is divided, we have a poor majority, we have a smaller working class, we do have peasants, we do have students, we do have a smaller vulnerable groups within the society. Now there is also another social stratification that has emerged, a group of women who've been raped by these rebels who seek justice, every day by day. So all these groupings as a movement, we have developed programs that speaks to their needs. So, but in order to carry out that program, so the first step, we need to prepare people who are capable. So we don't want to have politicians or activists who are microwaved, this type of microwave politicians. That's what we see in DRC. We do have microwave politicians who go to the parliament. They are there debating, as Comrade Alex has alluded. They are there only to debate or to correct issues of languages, whatever and what, but they don't exactly understand how the institutions of the state, work. So that is a basic solution that we are proposing. And then what we normally want, our end result, is to ensure that we get back what rightfully belonged to us. Because before 1884, when Congo was under the leadership of kingdom, all the means of production were controlled by Congolese people. We lost our resources when King Leopold took over. So our means of production went to the hands of individual person. After him, he transferred the same resources to a small ruling class in Belgium. From there, they used Mobutu and other up until today. So economically, we are dominated by our colonial masters and their multinational companies. So the starting point is to build first a movement with capable leaders and now begin to negate the negation, because our people, they've been given poison. Our people have been told that whatever they see, they shall see them no more. So we must fight for eternal life. So it is a battle of idea that we are also engaging. So that is why when we are given opportunity like this, we engage in full force, because we want to raise the level of awareness. This is how we can also reach out millions of our people wherever they are, to start small conversations in wherever they found themselves, so that we can build a very massive, a united front that will lead us to a struggle that will end the current situation that we are facing. So those are the basic things that we propose. We have programs of actions that looks first at, in order to develop this country, we need peace and stability. We need to use our own resources to offer, if need be, free and quality education in our country. We need to have universal and equitable healthcare that will look after the lives of millions of our people. We need food security because we have a fertile land. We need water and sanitation, electricity. You know, we need infrastructural development. So these are the part of the programs that we are advertising. So our people, they need decent jobs. Today, we have millions of Congolese who are overseas, not because all of them, they are running out of the country because of political instability or conflict. It's only people who are coming from the Eastern Party and the north of Congo. This is where there are these, permanent conflict between various, rebel movement. But when we go towards the western part of country, it's because of economic hardship that has pushed millions of people to leave the country. I believe in the programs that we have, it looks at how we can create an economy, an inclusive economy that will benefit everybody, an inclusive economy that will create decent job, that will bring our people back to the land of promise. So those are the few things that we normally propose, but it's not, our programs are not static programs. So they are very dynamic because they are informed by the material conditions on the ground. So those are the few things that I wanted to put on the table, because we don't want to go to this platform, talk about problems without proposing at least what is that your movement, want to see in DRC. So thank you very much.
No, let's see if I can get up here. Good. Thank you very much, beloved. If people wanted to donate to your organisation, how could they go about that? Do you have a PayPal, or do you have an account, or is there a way that people can donate should they wish to do so? Are you hearing me? Let's turn this on.
I think your voice is breaking.
Okay, are you hearing me? Yeah, are you hearing me now? If people want to donate, what can they do to donate? Do you have a PayPal? Do you have a bank account? How can people make a donation to what's your organisation?
Yeah, no, we normally have.
You're not hearing me.
Yes, we normally have a bank account that we normally use when we are running our programs, because we host weekly, monthly seminars, workshops, online political education. So when we do face-to-face, we normally hire a venue. We organize some few, refreshments. Or when we have got big events like the 10th of June, we are trying to organize a seminar on the independence of DRC. So we do have a banking account that we normally use whenever those who want to donate something, they use to send something to us.
If you could post your bank account details so that those who want to donate to your training or to the works of your organization will be able to do so. So please put it in the chat so that people in the chat who want to donate will be able to do so. And I'll also post it at the bottom of this video. Brother Alexis, are you able to come in and share with us, any further action that we can take to help support you and the works of your organization?
Hello, are you talking to Alexis?
Are you hearing me, Brother Alexis? Yes, Brother Alexis. How else can we support you? Obviously, we can support financially for the training programs.
Technology is killing me this side because I can't hear you properly, but but as a comrade just alluded now, our movement depend on self-contribution, and we only get support when we're hosting something, and the movement is surviving on our contribution. And in this country where we are living, as we spoke before, most of us are asylum seekers and the refugees. So our income is highly limited, and much bigger than who we are. It's much what will be highly appreciated to carry on what we are doing in this movement, and we really appreciate that. But all the information about the banking system, I think Comrade Capel is the right person who can give you all the information. We have everyone got his task in the movement, and he's the one who is in charge of financial, and he's also. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And
I don't know. I don't know if you can.
Financial support. Yes, go ahead, Pele.
Yes, and then also beside the financial support, normally another support that we need normally is to link our movement to other progressive movements, so that we can lead this campaign to be a global campaign, because we know that we are dealing with vultures, and then we cannot operate in silos. This is an international problem because capital is global. It's affecting, exploiting people of the world. So another support that we'll need is to create more platforms like this for us, so that we can participate more, we can engage more with other progressive organizations, so that we can raise that internationalism, solidarity among other progressive movements all over the world. And also the other support that we normally ask is more capacity building on leadership, political education, and also education on issues of policy development, because we do not want to be a movement that maybe one day will be given an opportunity to say that, no, you guys, you've been outside talking too much. So here is the country before you, and then you go there only with talking. You do not have any direction and whatever. So like if you know people who are specialized in policy development, policy that are people-centered, not a capital-centered. So we'll appreciate to participate in those trainings, in those debates, in those engagements, and also political education so that we can continue to strengthen our capacity and ability, because political education for us, it's like a Bible. And then a politician, as Thomas Sankara put it, a politician without a political education is a potential criminal. And this is what we see, what is happening in DRC. We do have politicians without politics, and then they end up becoming potential criminals. They end up sacrificing the lives of our people because they are there because they want to get money. So they are not there to transform the country and also improve the lives of the people. So we'll appreciate, beside financial support, education, providing us more coverage in terms of participating, because when you go to the words of Antony Gramsci, he analyzed very well the capitalist society, and then he said that the capitalist society is led by two components. There's a superstructure and the base. As Comrade Kaskil and Alexis alluded, the basis, it's part of the ownership of the means of production. So the superstructure, it's look at the ideological structure and the cohesive structure. So the capitalists, they for using these two institutions. Ideologically, you can be led by consent without no one is pushing you. So they use education system to propagate, to advance their ideas. They use mainstream media to propagate the narrative of the same class that is exploiting our people. The laws of the country, we alluded the issues of religion, entertainment industry. So this is the area where we also want to penetrate the war of position, because in any struggle, you have first to win the war of position before you win the war of maneuver. Before you take over the state power, you need to position yourself. And you can see how the capitalists, they use mainstream media, to advance their agenda. So that will be a big, support that will appreciate if we are giving as a lot of coverage, come on show, engaging on various topics, engaging with other international progressive movement. We are going to appreciate it. That will be part and parcel of the contribution of Sister Shanice's show to the struggle of the oppressed, to the struggle of the exploited masses of Congo. So those are the few things. So we don't emphasize more on issues of money. Yes, we know we need money, but we emphasize more on issues of capacity, because once we have that capacity, we'll be able to know how now to manage that money. So if we are showered with a lot of money and then we do not know what to do with that money, we'll end up fighting among ourselves. We'll end up dividing the money and say that, let's eat this money. But yes, we appreciate financial support for our big issues, political education, policy development, giving us more coverage so that we can increase the level of consciousness among our people in Europe, in America, and then other parts of the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Brother Kapele. We're almost at the top of the hour. I've been reading some of the comments in the chat, and in the chat, people are talking about the importance of organisation, and as you was calling for as well, the importance of linking up with other international organisations so that we can come together and become a formidable force. I want to thank everybody for their patience with the audio challenges that we have been experiencing. It's one challenge after another. Let me allow our brother Alexis to leave us with some final remarks. Sorry, before I do, I've got a brother who's just raised his hand. Okay, let me give the brother or the sister an opportunity to speak. Please put your camera on so that we can bring it forward. Are you able to put your camera on so that we can bring you forward?
Hi, good evening, everyone. Thank you. Hi, good evening, everyone. Thank you. My name is Jeremy, and I am a Congolese national. I live in South Africa too. And once I just want to start by thanking you, Sis Shanice, for this wonderful show that you put up and inviting this group, the Congolese Renaissance Movement, as I can read them. It is a wonderful evening for me. I followed them from the beginning to until now. And I want to say that it is interesting to find a group of young people who are ideologically well articulated and sound, like the group here. It's because, the story of the history of Congo, it's such a history of tragedy. But however, we cannot just remain in the tragedy of the history, but also to look into the solution. And as I followed your panelists, it was very, very well prepared, presented. Again, thank you very much, because such some of us, and I believe, and I want to believe many of us here on the Zoom platform and also on YouTube, that they may have not been, they may have not known the movement, but through this platform they've come across, and that's again shows the power of social media and media in itself. We live in the world where the capitalists have captured almost everyone through predation, a fear that they instill in many of us. Some of us, we are ICT professionals, but unable to practice in our own countries for some of the reasons that your panelists have alluded to. So it is important that we also mention that, and we thank you and thank the team or the panelists or the leaders of the Congolese Renaissance movement. We thank you for taking time to do your research, to put together such a movement, to try to bring up solutions to the issues of the Congo. There is a big tragedy in that country. But it's important also to know that there are people who are spending their time to try and bring about solutions. It's important. I just want to thank you and thank the panelists, the movement. And just to end, I wanted to ask, some of us are believers. Whenever there's a good gospel, there's always a call to action, and they want to go up there and give their lives to Jesus. Now, in this case here, I wanted to know, because again, I want to believe that many of us here on the Zoom platform and on YouTube, and those who will even come and follow review the recording on the YouTube, I believe there will be many of them, thousands of them. How do they reach out? How do we reach out these movements? So can they share some of their details in terms of the reach out, the website, the social media pages, like on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, if there are anything, email addresses and so on, so people can reach out? I've heard they've mentioned about some of the things that they may need, the support that they need. There are those out there who will be touched by the message, the ideology that has been well articulated. How do they reach them? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Can I go over to Brother Capelle for a response regarding social media networks and links? And also, if you give them to me, I will post them underneath the video. And thank you so much, my brother, for coming on and for congratulating the panel members with a powerful message and in the way that they have delivered their message today. And as you said, when others view this video, they may well want to reach out to you, or they may well want to join you, but they may well want to find out more about how they can help, to resolve to contribute towards resolving some of the problems that exist. So please let us know how you can be contacted, what WhatsApp groups, social media pages or websites can people visit to join the support group for the people of the Congo.
Okay, no, thank you very much. On the social network, we do have our Facebook page, because this organization is a highly democratic. We do have a team that deals with the Facebook. We do also have our email address, so we'll share with Sister Shanice with all these details. We do have a phone number that we normally use if you want to make a direct call, if you want to communicate with us via WhatsApp. We do have that number, and also the other details for account bank. We are going to share everything with you so that you can also put it on your, if you have a website or whatever, tools that you are using also to advance the struggle of African people. Yeah, but currently we are planning to start to establish a website. But the one thing that made us not to fast track it because we had a lot of financial problems, because this movement is a self-funded movement. Whatever we do, the contribution comes from the pockets of our members. But I strongly believe maybe before the end of this year or before the end of this quarter, we'll be able to establish our own website where we'll be engaging with people, where we can allow people to go through our political education material, so that also they can educate the others on the struggle that we have decided, to embark on. So I think those are the few things that I will have to say. So I will share the Facebook, the email address, the cell phone number that we use for direct call or WhatsApp, and as well as the bank account. So currently we are not on Instagram. Our focus, we are introducing these tools of communication step by step, because our media team, it is still very small, so we don't want to overwhelm the person who is dealing with the media. So but we are building on this. I think before the end of this year, we'll be on all social networks. So that is part of our war of position. We are trying to position ourselves, because we have spent times, learning, building capacity, be politically educated, ideologically educated. So we believe that the small information that we have acquired throughout these political classes, workshops, seminars, engagement, I think it's time that we can also share what we have learned, so that we can also hear from our own people what is that need to be done, to address the problem that we are facing. So as I said, we are not the prophets. We have analyzed the problem and come up with a problem based on our political and ideological orientation. But by engaging with people, we continue to refine and to perfection our programs and our policies in the way that they touch each and every sphere of our lives. So with those few words, let me end there. I will share all these elements that I've said. Thank you.
Thank you so much, my brother Pele. We thank you so much, Brother Alexis, and we also thank our brother Sikulu, who had to leave us due to technical challenges with his phone there. I'm not going to say it long because I know there's challenges with my audio. So as soon as I get all of the social media information, I will post it on the post of this video. So those of you who are watching, you can help and assist by sharing the stories and sharing the video as well. There's a lot of support that we can offer to our young brothers from the Congo towards, improving the situation in the lives of our family back in the DRC Congo. First and foremost, we have to raise awareness about what is happening. So thank you all so much for joining me today on the Citizenship platform. I want to thank everybody in the audience who's going to help and support in some way, shape or form. I want to thank you in advance for doing so. I think, there's a lot of challenges and a lot of problems that we've got across the continent and across the world, but I don't think any is as acute as what we've heard today that's happening in the Congo. And I certainly hope that, every Pan-African organization, even every religious organization, can become a champion, for the cause of a better quality of life for our people in the Congo. So thank you everybody for watching. Next strong, I'm actually going to be traveling, so I may not have internet next Wednesday. So just to alert you, to let you know, I may not be here next Wednesday. So don't be surprised if you don't see me. But in the meantime, I've got over 300 videos on my YouTube channel, educational videos, for some great scholars and professors still alive. And, powerful panels like we've had today to share with us what's happening in various parts of the continent. So please do check those out. So more love, more strength to everybody that's watching. I know we've got family from across the globe that's watching here today. Please be an ambassador for the DRC Congo. Let's do what we can during our lifetime to bring about the change that we want to see in our lifetime happen in the DRC Congo. Thank you very much, family. Thank you. Sister Shanice out of here for now. Thank you, panel members.